Drugs, I love them. I don't do them anymore, but I am obsessed. I don't think there is anything more sexy than cocaine.
Wow.
I think cocaine is so fucking sexy.
And see, I love drugs, still do them, but I have never done cocaine.
Well, you have a weak heart.
I have a weak heart, but also I've never heard someone be like, I just did a bunch of cocaine last night and I feel great today.
I would definitely be in the microdosing shrooms camp.
Yes.
I was microdosing before
It was cool.
before it was cool.
Yeah.
We would do like one stem, one cap, and then go to the bars. And when I tell you, I would laugh until like my fucking abs hurt. It was the best.
Yeah.
Everything was bright. Everything was just like hunky dory.
Amazing.
I was having fun everywhere.
Yeah.
What a dream.
It's great. It's like somebody just takes like the saturation levels of your life and just bumps it
them
up.
up.
And
Yeah.
you're like Flintstones. It's great. It's like a cartoon.
And I think it made me less aware of my sex drive. So it was also a relief in that way because you're just like, I'm a human. I feel connected to you, but I'm not worried about like getting my butthole wet later.
Yes. Connection without intimacy or sex is an important concept.
Yeah. There's intimacy there.
There could be intimacy, but it's also just like, you know, you could
Bonding.
Bonding. You just be bonded to somebody. I love that. Yeah. Would you ever go back? Would you ever be
Do drugs
interested
again?
in doing like a
So,
microdosing shrooms again?
I'm in AA and I have a sponsor.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. And everything I say is factual. No, I don't speak for AA, but I am in that program. So I can't even do poppers, really.
Right.
I don't do poppers. I can't do poppers. But my sponsor and I have talked, and I have the go-ahead to do ayahuasca.
Oh.
And I'm very ayahuasca curious.
Yeah.
I'm ayahuasca curious.
I'm ayahuasca curious too. I would totally do that with you.
The thing is, I think I'd have to get off my antidepressant. But
well, you're on drugs. I mean, technically, we're both on drugs right now.
well,
When
yeah.
let's define drugs because
Okay.
I'm on a quarter of an Adderall right now. You're on Zoloft
And Wellbutrin.
and Wellbutrin. Like that. Those are drugs, but I guess when we define drugs, we mean like
The fun illegal ones.
the fun illegal ones that are changing your
You're like,
perspective of the world.
Headspace.
Because like Adderall changes my headspace.
yeah.
Or, you know, it's like
Well, I think drugs are things you can abuse. Well, no, okay, I understand that Wellbutrin is a drug.
drugs
But
are
it's like,
drugs.
When I think about drugs in this capacity, it's ones that you can do in excess
Sure.
or do illegally.
Yes.
Or you don't have a prescription for it and you're doing it.
There's an illicitness.
to like
Right.
escape or to heighten or to depress.
Absolutely. And because as we know, just because something's illegal doesn't mean that it is wrong.
Right.
It just was a certain wrongness of like there was a wrongness barometer that it hit at a certain time for our like world.
Sure.
Or government is trying to control our bodies and our lives. Whatever.
Facts.
So as far as the drugs that we're talking about like taking something that's going to change your
With like the
perspective
intention.
with the intention of having fun, craziness,
Checking
silly,
out,
checking
kind of.
out. Yes.
Like-
an escape.
Yes.
And if that's why I guess doing Adderall or doing
You could abuse it.
you totally could abuse it. You could totally snort it or just take
The first
a
time I
ton
took
of it.
Adderall was at Coachella.
Yeah,
And I was like, this is day-long cocaine?
absolutely.
Great.
Right. Yeah, and that's why I feel like I've done cocaine because I've done Adderall.
Yeah.
But
Oh my God.
there's just a ton of drugs that are out there that people are like, ooh, you can't do horse tranquilizer because it's for horses.
Right.
And I'm here to tell you, you can.
Yeah. Hay is also for horses, but I eat that every day.
Yeah. I'm going to stuff you like a scarecrow, baby.
Oh my God. Wow, your partner's so lucky.
Pez dispenser laugh.
Wait, what? I did. If you'll notice, Darren laughs at anything. It hurts.
Yeah.
Ever since someone pointed that out, it has hurt me. As a comedian, it's hurt my soul.
Why? Because you don't think that I think you're funny?
I
Or
know
it's
I'm
fake?
funny, but like I don't. You're not a barometer for it. Wait. Okay. You do drugs.
I do. Yes. I love them.
And you're like a brand rep for ketamine.
Yeah, heavily into ketamine. I think it's fantastic.
Hashtag ad. Hashtag sponsored post.
I don't do it every week. I don't even do it. I don't think I've done it in over a month at this point. But I do love it. I think it is a great, like, I liken ketamine to feeling like when you're playing N64 and you're playing Mario Kart and
No.
you like you'll be there. And you're like, you finish the race and you win, and then the race keeps going. You can't control the race, but like the little Luigi that you've been controlling is like, oh, and he's like going off, and he's like
Mickey.
winning, and he's like, yeah, that did sound like. What does Luigi say? Does he say Luigi?
I would never appropriate
I'm a Luigi.
that.
Anyway, it's like a victory lap. It's like everything's on cruise control and victory lap, and I am here for it. And it's like up and back. It's great.
Interesting.
There are things that I won't touch, though. Like opiates, won't touch. I will not. Like I'm a heavy. I do like a disassociative, like ketamine. I've done G. Don't do that anymore.
People do too much ketamine?
Yeah, you can go into a K-hole.
Okay.
Which I've done one time, and honestly, it wasn't that bad.
Oh, so we're standing up for the K-hole.
Yeah. Well, no. I mean, like, don't go into a
Did
K-hole.
people have to take care of you?
No. When I was in a K-hole, I was
what does a K-hole look like? You're like...
It kind of just feels like a migraine without pain. You know?
The most useless description I've ever heard.
Have you ever had a migraine?
No.
Okay, well then...
But a migraine is pain. That's how it's defined.
Well, yes, but then there's also light sensitivity that's there, sound sensitivity. You feel like things are like darker, and you just need to be in like a cold, dark space. That's what ketamine, having too much ketamine was like for me.
Do you see that a lot in the community?
The ketamine community?
The K-hole?
The K-hole community?
The K-holers?
Just call me I'm just a K-hole,
I'm
sir.
just a K-hole, sir. Wait, but really, do you see people doing too much ketamine?
At first, and then you figure out your tolerance and what you're doing and think maybe at that point you're fine. I don't know.
No, I'm not asking about you. I'm saying like when you go out amidst people who do
Are doing ketamine,
do you often see someone who's in a K-hole?
No. Rare.
Okay.
It's rare. I think it's pretty rare.
Cool.
Yeah, Shroomies. Love Shroomies. I just got to introduce... I also love introducing like Shroomies
people
to
drugs?
people.
Okay.
Yes, and like... So my boyfriend and I, it was his first time doing shrooms recently.
Did you like a full dose, a full quarter or whatever?
Like a full like chocolate, yeah. A little bit of shroomies, and we just like sat on a beach.
Had the best
Everything
time.
was beautiful. Giggled, held hands. Like it was, like that's fucking life, man. Like that's so good.
Can we actually throw that clip in the trash? Like, can you print it and throw it in the garbage?
Hey, man.
I didn't survive that one.
It is. It's so great. You wouldn't get it because
I've done drugs, man. I'm gonna need a minute.
We have to take a break.
Did you ever do sassafras?
That just sounds like a silly gay man.
Yeah, it was like a designer drug. It was pitched to me as healthy Molly, which
the
but
fuck a room.
it did fully. It was fun, and we did sassafras chocolate, and it was a like a Berkeley, San Francisco drug.
It's just a weed?
No, it was like Molly-esque.
Is it like built in a laboratory?
I think they make it on Sesame Street.
Oh, that's why Oscar the Grouch is unhoused.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, he had a sassafras problem.
Yeah, he had a sassafras problem.
No, but Molly. Yeah, no, Molly. I even if I started doing drugs, the drugs that tempt me these days are shrooms because they just seem so fun and innocent. Never had a bad experience. I did acid. Never.
Hate it.
Never. I actually thought I'd lost my mind.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm never gonna get it back.
Let's talk about acid. Man. Because I did acid accidentally.
Ew.
I was tricked into doing
You were
acid.
dosed?
I went over to a friend's house, easy little pool party. We ordered some Thai food, yum, yum, yum. And at the end, we were like going to go to not a party, but like just a bar for like a little bit. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I just had a bunch of fucking Thai food. I'm going to get, can I have one of these Altoids? And he had like a little Altoid tin on his kitchen counter. I was like, can I have an Altoid? He goes, yeah, go for it. And I like take one and I put it in my mouth and yum, 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 whatever. And he was like, you're going to have a great time. And I go, why? And he was like, that was acid. And I was like, what? That you're joking, right? It was an Altoid in Altoid tin,
Like that they had like drops
and
on.
I guess he had just dropped a dose on each thing, and it was awful. It was maybe one of the worst experiences.
Did
of my
you go
life.
out?
We went out. I came up at the bar. I was like, I cannot talk to a single soul. I got to get back, but I had driven there.
Oh my
so I had
God.
to like Uber back to their house, freak out. I was like, one moment I was like having a conversation with a plant.
Yeah.
And then the next moment I was like, suicide's a valuable option. And I
Yeah.
was like, whoa, those are weird.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. No, I hate it. I don't understand. I mean, like, you have to definitely have some sort of fortitude of mind in order to, like,
Yeah, or
recognize that that's just the drug talking.
Yeah, but it's impossible.
Yeah.
It feels real.
Yeah. What was the first? Okay, what was your? Do you have an acid story?
Yeah, it was New Year's Day. The guy I was like in love with left. We were all in San Francisco. He like left with his new boyfriend, and I stayed one more day. And it was like New Year's Day already. We had done Molly the night before, hungover, and we were at the bars. I was leaving the next day for LA, and I was like, "Do you want to do acid?" And I think I was like heartbroken, sort of. I was like YOLO, sort of. I was 24 or something. And he dropped it on my hand. And it was fun at first because we were at like a friend's house. They were like doing all sorts of weird light things and like dangling like stuff over our heads. And it was like very kitten with like the toy thing. But then it went dark.
Yeah.
And I was counting down time before I had to go to the airport.
Ooh.
And I was like, I was trying to go to sleep. I closed my eyes. I saw like rocking chairs and moccasins and cobwebs. Just like
you were like transported into like a 1930s horror film.
It wasn't fun.
That's awful.
And then I went to the airport at like 6 a.m.
TSA.
Pretty much still on acid. And like I almost missed my flight. It was horrible. Then I had to go home and go to my serving job.
Oh, God.
And I like had a full-blown panic attack.
Yeah, no, that's not fun. Yeah. So getting ahead of it right now, don't do acid.
A lot of people love it.
I know.
So go off, acid queens.
I mean, they have some obligatas that they get them through that. I have no idea.
I think it just must be brain. I wonder if science has said this yet. Brains are all different.
No, they don't. They're all the same. They're pretty standard.
Pretty standard.
They're pretty standard. You just get one in a box.
Like a Costco brain.
Yep.
But yeah, we must be shroomy people.
Yeah.
I don't like weed.
I don't like weed either.
We can literally go fuck itself.
What was the first drug you ever did?
Probably weed.
Yeah.
But I loved it in high school because it was very like, we probably had like the weakest weed. We would go to like Steak and Shake, which is like a diner in the Midwest.
This is oregano.
Yeah, yeah. And we would like laugh. Like it was just fun.
Yeah.
But it was also like escaping Midwestern life.
Yeah.
With friends.
Yeah.
Everything was new.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was great.
That's great. Yeah. And now realize it's not for me.
Oh my God.
The first drug I ever did was something called 2CB.
Wait. Is it pink?
Yeah.
And it's like a mix of everything.
It was...
Wait, that was the first... I thought that was a new drug.
I was 15. I was 15 years old.
Wow, 1986
it was
feels like...
so long ago.
Long ago.
But also like just yesterday. Yeah, it was awful. I remember being like mad at my parents one time and like walking to a friend's house. My friend who has since passed. I don't know why that was important.
Oh
to
my
the story.
God. Unless they died from 2CB.
They died from heroin.
Which probably a little bit in there.
No, I remember going to his house and he was like, "Oh, we'll take this. It'll make you feel better." And I thinking like, okay, whatever. And it was like a full hallucinogenic experience. It was like 8 hours. It was wild. Like, it wasn't bad, but I just remember being like,
what the
turning
fuck?
into different people.
Sure.
And like seeing ants on the wall and like going to a rock concert, which was just like a poster of a band on his wall. And it was like, and getting zero sleep, but it was like, I don't know. It was weird.
Was it a weekend or a school night?
It was a Tuesday.
Oh.
And I remember it vividly because I had an Algebra 2 test the next day.
No.
And I woke up and I got there and the numbers were bouncing around.
No.
And I totally failed it. I got like
Stop.
a 45 on the test. Yeah. Awful.
First of all, I was a straight A student. Getting a 45 on a test would ruin me.
Would rock. Yeah. Ruin my semester. Ruin my life. That's why I have to be
obviously look
here.
Look around.
But now that we've had a lot of bad stories about drugs, I or at least have gotten to the point where I do find the validity and
of course
the beauty in them. It just takes some experimentation.
Yeah, if drugs are not bringing you to your knees in one way or another, and you can do them recreationally, and it makes sense economically, and you have the space for it, mentally and physically, please do drugs.
Yes.
I love drugs.
Well, maybe one day you will do ayahuasca.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Yeah. That would be eye-opening.
Although I hear you shit and throw up.
Are we convincing ourselves that we should stop doing drugs? Well, you've stopped.
No. I'm just saying on ayahuasca. Apparently, you have a bucket that
And you have to shit into a bucket.
You purge.
Why can't
your body.
I shit
your body
into
like
a bathroom?
really because it's not part of the process.
Oh, I can't shit in my toilet. I have to shit in the bucket.
You lie on like the ground, and you like scream
and while
and
you're
cry
shitting. While you're shitting.
and you fucking release.
Everything at the same time.
Yeah. I think
Everything
your
all at
body probably
once.
thinks it's been severely poisoned.
Yeah.
But your mind is like, I'm going to get to the bottom of this.
Yeah. I mean, props to people who do it and their shitting in a bucket really brings them life and spirituality. Sure.
Shitting in a bucket is a turning point.
Yeah.
Like you shit in a bucket and you have to reassess things.
True.
Like, how did I get here?
Yeah.
Holding a bucket of my poo.
Of my own poo. I'm at crossroads.
The rehab in
I was
Nevada.
thinking the movie with Britney
Crossroads.
Spears.
That involved an abortion?
I never saw it.
Oh, damn. I think a fetus perishes in that movie. We can only hope.
More abortions. Honestly, more abortions.
Listen, abortion has to stay on the table because I don't ever want to Google how to give someone an abortion because some girlfriend of mine desperately needs one and she's come to me.
Oh, no. Honey, I'll just pay for your flight to fucking Washington, D.C. to get your abortion if you need.
Is that where they're going to keep it?
I mean, it's like one of the most liberal parts of the United States.
Wow.
Right? Doesn't it like go like 97%?
I would fly
Democratic?
a girlfriend one-way Spirit Air. Okay. That's my tax bracket right
and
now.
They have to
She'd need like
crawl back on their hands and knees to California.
Maybe a walk would do them good.
Yeah.
Clear the air.
Clear the air. Take a little bit of Shroomies, and that's gonna be a great time.
Yes. You know? Like, listen, I only got you a one-way ticket, but
I also have this chocolate for your post-abortion care.
Oh my God.
And she realizes after that she wanted to keep it.
Stop. That's horrible. My first time doing shrooms, I will say overall, I feel like my brain opened up and it never thought the same ever again.
Same. When I had my first abortion, I felt
the
same way.
As if any dude would get you pregnant.
I know. Why did I say that was like hot?
I know.
Fuck you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
The first time I did shrooms, though, this is like a long story, but I'll abbreviate it. We did the shrooms. One of the people threw up. They were the first, and that's a hazard of doing shrooms.
Sure.
You can throw up because, again, I think it's poison.
Yeah, I've never thrown up doing shrooms.
But you've heard that, right?
I guess, yeah. People have said that. Okay.
You guess, but you don't actually
I've never
believe.
seen anyone throw up on shrooms. I've never thrown up on shrooms, but I've heard that happens to some people.
It's definitely like a hazard. You can throw up. Anyway, one of the friends threw up, and I was like, fuck, great. I'm so scared already.
Yeah.
The sophomore in college. I'm like worried I'm going to throw up and worried I'm going to die, honestly, because it's drugs and I'm in Indiana. So I don't die. Starts getting trippy. We do Friendship Road, which is like, or we're going to go to Friendship Road, which is like a backwoods drive where people would smoke joints and like drive through the woods. As we're going to a car to go do this girl comes running out of the apartment complex next door crying. And we're like, oh my God, gay guys. We're like, oh my God, girl, what's wrong? And she's like, my boyfriend like just broke up with me. And we're like, oh my, do you want to like come smoke with us? And she's like, yeah, that'd be great. Gets in the car. We're smoking. I'm high. Everything's, talking to me, walking, breathing. And she's like, we should probably get back. I have school tomorrow. Not class. School. Which is different.
It is.
She was a high schooler.
No.
Yep. She was like a sophomore in high school. Yeah. And so we are on drugs. We've given her drugs.
Right.
We're all high.
Right.
And we're like, okay, we have to like get her home. And then like when she got home, like she insisted that one of us come to meet her mom.
No.
To prove how chill she was.
Oh my God.
She gave us beers.
The mom.
Uh-huh.
Oh, so she was like a cool mom.
Indiana plays by different rules,
right?
Brah.
I guess I was expecting it to be like very conservative and a little bit strict, like structured.
I think hillbilly outvotes structure.
Gotcha. Are there Can you say hillbillies?
Is that derogatory?
I don't know.
I mean, I was white trash.
Okay, so white trash
Is not okay.
No, you can say white trash, right?
Are you sure?
I mean, if you are white trash, you can say white trash.
Okay.
I can't say it though.
Wow. Wow. Okay. No, I was white trash.
No. But tell me about your experiences as a what is it? White trash?
Wow. You're still trash, Darren.
Yeah, but I'm Jew trash.
I couldn't say it. I'm so glad you did.
No, what was it? Jew trash? Jew trash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, just Hicks. You know, Hicks are like, here, honey, have a Coors for the road.
Yeah.
That vibe.
Yeah.
Get in here. You all want some some cheese toasties?
You have a violin recital. Let me give you some beers before you... Right? This is a little kid.
A violin recital?
Yes. You said that you guys played by different rules. What kind of drugs did you do before your violin?
The violin.
Oh, see,
no.
I guess white trash.
Oh my God.
They don't play violin. Fiddle. Excuse me.
The spoons. Clickety clackety.
A Jew harp. You know this.
No.
You've never played a Jew. I literally have a Jew harp.
You just made it sound like it was your mouth.
Well, I think it's a mouth harp, but it's called a Jew harp. Why? Because it's shaped like a Jew.
Stop.
I
Why
swear
really?
to God, it's shaped exactly like me.
What's it shaped like a Jew mean?
You got me.
Okay.
What were we talking about?
I really want an explanation on the J word harp.
Oh, you can say Jew. You don't have to say J word. You can just say Jew. Say Jew. Zach, say Jew. Say Jew, Zach.
Would rather not.
Why not? Is there something wrong with being Jewish?
Gross. You can understand how the words Jew harp sounds violently.
Literally the name of the instrument.
Oh, I thought you were saying it was like a slang for doing this with your mouth.
No, it's an instrument. It's like a metal instrument that you put in your mouth and you go.
And that's called a Jew harp?
And it's called a Jew harp.
And it was named in a kind way?
I think so. Right, Paul? Have you ever heard of a Jew harp?
Honestly, I've never heard. Paul's never even met a Jewish
person.
Okay,
look up Jew harp. Get back to me. This is all to say that I guess I got it wrong because I thought that, you would have a recital, and because it was the middle of the American Midwest, the rules did not apply, and your mom would say, okay, honey, have a good recital, take a shot of whiskey before this recital. You look a little nervous.
You're kind of there.
What was it like?
Well, it's just like recital. I mean, I did take dance as I was getting out of being white trash in recovery. I did dance recitals and stuff, but that was I was bringing the culture to my household.
Yeah.
If anything, honey, I can't make it to that recital thing you got. I got to show up in court in the morning.
Sure.
That, honestly, my mom doesn't sound like that at all. My mom's a classy lady. Her name's literally Antoinette. But you get the gist. I'm actually talking about my Indiana towny experience.
Gotcha.
Where it's kind of like cornfields.
Yeah.
It's like Indiana University and then
And you walk into a house and the mom's cool with the beer or whatever.
Barefoot.
Yeah.
Honey.
Which is a fucking drug.
Do we have info on J-harp?
Oh, yeah. It's Jew harp, but it's because in French it means toy trumpet, and in French toy is J-E-U. And so it's Jew harp, but a lot of people call it Jew, J-E-W harp. But it's the only reason it's Jew is because
that's French.
It means toy in French.
Toy harp.
So or mouth harp.
Or a mouth harp, which is what I said. I was right.
No.
That's what I said. I said it was a mouth harp.
You made it sound like it was part of your religion.
Well, it was a joke.
Wasn't funny.
What else about drugs?
I think more straight people do drugs to a life-destroying level.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you had already said this before as queer people are often at the forefront of certain types of change, right? When it comes to open relationships. And I think also drugs are kind of akin to that as well of there have been drugs that gay people have been doing for a long time that just now are catching on mainstream wise.
What one?
Well, I think poppers right now.
Oh, straight people are doing poppers?
Oh my god! I went to a
That would, if I saw a
Disclosure
man doing poppers, I'd be like, that's a gay man.
That's a gay man. I went to a Disclosure concert, and Disclosure is like a pop. Like, well, it's
gay.
House. I think it's house. I think it's just as gay as it is straight.
Okay.
Some gay people there, but there were a lot of like straight Asians. And I remember being right next to this like group of like young 20-year-old straight like girl Asians and like men, and halfway through the concert they like pop open a bottle of poppers and are just going ham on poppers and offer us, and I was like, this is wild to me.
2 questions.
Yes.
Is it important that they're Asian?
No.
And how do you know they weren't gay or like queer?
They were. I mean, it was obviously like it was like 3 couples.
Listen,
3 straight
just because they
couples.
didn't want to fuck you, Darren,
What do you mean?
doesn't mean they're not on the queer spectrum.
If you don't want to fuck me, you're straight.
I need to see. Okay, in order to get on board with this whole straight people are doing poppers, I need to see it at like a frat house.
Oh, I bet poppers would go crazy in frat houses. I bet there are frat houses out there that are like, one of your things that you have to do as a pledge is to do poppers
and send us a picture of your asshole.
Right.
That we're definitely not going to jerk off to.
I mean, this isn't gay. I mean, this isn't straight. But the first time I did poppers, I did it with the entire cast of Newsies, because at the time, the Broadway cast of Newsies.
That's how everyone should do their first time.
Is
poppers.
with the entire cast of Broadway cast of Newsies, because everyone was set in a circle and we uncapped, and the game was the first person to laugh or talk loses, and we just did poppers, and then eventually like one of like the 17-year-old newsie.
Yeah, I was like, was everyone in 8th grade at the time? Like, okay, guys, if you laugh or first of all, telling a bunch of musical theater kids not to talk,
yeah,
incredible.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's like playing the quiet game with a 5-year-old,
except much worse.
Yeah, because we're screaming. All
Yeah.
the time. Yeah, that was the first time I ever did poppers, and a lot of those people were straight. I don't know if they still are, but at the time they were.
Okay, this is the thing. I'm not talking about straight people who are in the
Musical.
Broadway cast of Newsies. I'm talking again, finance bros.
You're talking about your
pro athletes.
Yeah, like
construction
Steph Curry
workers.
is not doing poppers.
Well, maybe.
I don't know. I don't even know who Steph Curry is.
I think it's a football.
Oh, he is a football, yeah. I think you can pass him around, baby.
I'd take a big whiff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Damn it, really?
Yeah, he's Golden State Warriors.
I really thought he was football.
No, I was pretending not to know.
Really?
Yeah, of course I know.
Don't play dumb. You're dumb enough.
Thank you.
With not
all
being
the drugs
dumb on
that I do.
purpose. Yeah. The first time I did poppers, I truly almost passed out.
That was weed for me.
'Cause, like, you
what
see
happened?
stars. A guy was sucking my dick, and he offered me poppers. He had a fetish for twinks, so he is officially the bad guy in this scenario.
Sure.
He's doing poppers. I was like, I've never done them before.
Mm.
I hadn't, and he's like, just take a deep inhale. I must have taken a deep inhale, and it was like literally saw stars,
Sure.
lightheaded, as poppers do
Historically.
and I fell back onto the. I was sitting on the edge of the bed. I fell back to the edge of the bed, onto the bed.
Oh, okay.
But yeah,
And then he just had his way with you.
yeah.
Wow.
I'm not gonna say it.
He mouth you?
I was gonna say he Matthewed me. No, I was gonna say mouth rape, but he mouth rape. He didn't. It was consensual.
It was consensual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I will say for those 45 seconds, I was like,
Where am I?
Where
What
am
am I
I?
doing? Who am I?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, the first time you do any drug is like a thing,
"Whoa."
but
I
when
know it is.
when
It's
gay,
is it? You actually do that throughout drug use. You're like, oh, you're not sure
you're
what's
checking
going
in.
on. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm feeling it.
Yes.
But you don't know at first.
Yeah. And I think that that sort of self-awareness is, or constantly checking in. I do think that is because we've spent so much of our childhood constantly checking in about how we're performing, or if we're passing, or if we're if we're blending in enough, even though we literally can't, because the way that we speak is the way that we fucking speak, and it's outing us all the time. That like that type of like self-awareness is now like ingrained in you, and you're like, when you're in drugs, you're like, oh, I want like a different experience of this awareness, or like, let me take a shroom so I can feel like have an escape. And like,
I think it's escape.
You think it's escape?
I think it's very much like we've been over analytical about ourselves since then, since 5 years old, or whenever we caught on that it wasn't cool to be our authentic selves.
Yeah.
And then like drugs just flip that switch off. Sometimes it accelerates the thing.
Sure.
But like oftentimes it's like, nope, everything is fucking perfect.
But can I tell you that I am so glad that I do drugs now as an adult, and I didn't do them really in high school or college?
No, you can't tell me that.
Okay, I'm not going to tell you that. I'm going to go back and untell you.
I think you did it wrong, Darren.
No, I think that when you're in high school and you're like, you're like, your chemicals in your body are going haywire, to mix some other new chemicals in there is like a no-no. Like, figure out who you kind of are first and then explore. And that takes a bit.
I hear that.
So kids,
I only did weed and alcohol in high school.
Yeah.
Which is like just the cool kid experience.
Yeah. And like, I wasn't lame.
You were lame by the sounds of things.
I was a musical theater kid.
And playing straight, to my knowledge.
Yeah. And attending my sister's violin recitals. Like a good boy.
Bringing it back to recitals.
Well, Zach, any last thoughts on drugs?
Drugs. I love drugs. I think they serve a wonderful, wonderful purpose. I think they have the power to absolutely destroy lives, and I think the government should legalize more of them.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I agree. I like doing them. I, for some reason, have a very specific line in my head of the ones that I do and the ones that I do not. And just be cool. Guys.
Yeah, coming from this one.
A really cool musical theater guy. So.
And I will say, like, if you're going to do drugs, you must take full responsibility for knowing the drug, knowing the consequences of the drug,
sure,
and assessing how you feel before, after, and during the drug.
Yeah. Be responsible about it.
Be responsible.
Yeah.
Like those the beer commercials, drink responsibly. I refuse. Yeah. Never would.
No.
The last thing I want to do is drink responsibly.
Don't.
But drugs.
Drug responsibly.
Drug responsibly. I'd rather not. Okay.
Gotcha. Bye.